see something that is coming out in this world, and I think you're going to be shocked as well. Unfortunately, I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning just due to our baby, and so I checked a couple of my Facebook messages, and I had 3 separate messages concerning the same topic. The fact that after I had published this video about Pope, the most powerful man in history, it's a CNN series that started to air on March 11th. It glorifies the image of the Pope and furthers his publicity. Less than 24 hours after this series started to air, you now have Pope Francis starring in his own full-featured film that will be in theaters, I guess nationwide, maybe even worldwide, come May 18th of this year. So check this out. Here is a trailer, and it is from Focus Features Films, published on March 13th, 2018. So again, under 24 hours, this trailer has been posted, and it already has 462,000 views. And you can see how much people eat up this Pope and how much positive publicity he has. This is more of the same, where they are talking about no matter what divides us, his words unite us. Not the word, not the gospel, his words, the words of a man. And if you've followed my channel and others like mine, you know that this Pope is increasingly being put on a pedestal for the world. My thoughts about it, as I mentioned in this video here, is that we are getting precipitously close to some type of end times events when this thing really gets started. It is almost palpable. You can taste it. And this man is being set in a position where the world will be in a lot of chaos and disorder. It is the ordo ab chao that the elite love to glorify. And when this disorder and chaos comes and the Antichrist comes onto the scene and he does mysterious works and wonders, the world is going to be seeking for a religious and moral authority to help explain these things. And this man is serving sort of like as a John the Baptist for the Antichrist, an anti-John the Baptist, paving the way for this figure. And as I mentioned in my interviews with Lee and Joni, or when I went on with Tony at A Minute to Midnight and other channels, we feel this in our spirit. We feel like something is very, very close. But we also have to make sure that we don't rely on our own imaginations and we don't rely on our feelings. We have to be sober-minded about this. And I do believe looking at things that are happening in the world confirms what is resonating in our spirit, that something is so close, because you've got the Pope coming to the forefront again with this CNN series, and then 24 hours later his own full-featured film, where they glorify him as the most humble Pope, the moral authority for uniting a divided world, the moral authority for families, the moral authority not just within Catholicism, but also Christianity as a whole. In Islam, you have several imams calling him a very moral person, and they look to him for guidance. He's just all over the place, and this movie is really speaking to that. But he is this false prophet. He is not Christ-like. He is just an imposter. And so the timing of this also is very peculiar. Again, May 18th. Keep in mind that there's a lot of things going on in May. So this supposed meeting between Trump and North Korean's Kim Jong-un is supposed to be by May. I honestly don't think that Kim Jong-un is looking to have any type of denuclearization of his country. I think that he's honestly just buying time because he's probably close to completing some nuclear arsenal. You also have the fact that the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem is scheduled to open in May, just in time for Israel's 70th anniversary. Big date here in 2018. And so, as I just mentioned, I hate to be redundant, but just look at the signs. Be sober-minded, and you can see how close this is. That this Pope, who is very likely the last Pope, and he's very old in age, so he can't be lasting too much longer. He's got all this publicity, not from just the CNN series that's just been started, not just from this movie that's going to air, but back in 2015, I showed a video of how he has his own rock album, Wake Up. It's trying to entertain the youth. They are targeting the youth because the youth is not as sober-minded as some of the elders are and what's going on in the world, and so they're trying to exploit the youth. You also have him as Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Again, this is the guy. This is going to be our liaison to the Antichrist. I truly believe that. And so I mentioned again in my last video too, who is the Antichrist? I do not believe this to be a simple man. Many people believed it to be Obama. Many people believe it to be Trump. Many people believe it to be the Pope himself. But I don't believe that. This Antichrist figure is going to mimic signs and wonders. He's not going to be just a man. He's going to have, he's going to try to mimic Christ.